and it's gonna be going in that Corvette right there. And right there, it'd be fine.
Something with the paperwork got goofed up.
Okay.
It's not as stressful as it seems. Welcome to the It's Just Six YouTube channel.
For real though, man. Whenever we first picked up this Corvette, it had a ton of issues. Over the last few months, we've been slowly but surely rebuilding it into a really nice Corvette. And the last component that we had to do was the engine, because as you guys saw, whenever we took this thing out racing, we think it had some major issues. Once we saw that the car was smoking under acceleration, we went ahead and placed an order for a Texas Speed engine that just arrived, as you guys can see here on this pallet. And we took the transmission out, sent it off to TIC Performance. They rebuilt it all, and it is back here on the ground as well. But we had a little bit of a snag. As you guys can see here on this pallet, this is in fact a Texas Speed engine, yes, but unfortunately, this is not the Texas Speed engine that we ordered. And yeah, I'm not joking. Like seriously, we had this engine ordered back in December. We had some delays because we had to get a crankshaft in it that was supposed to be for a dry sump car. But unfortunately, the engine still got shipped out with a wet sump crankshaft. So this crankshaft is just 1 inch too short.
The engine is not gonna work in the car at all. The engine is a wet sump engine, and the Corvette Grand Sport is a dry sump car.
We already went live with our channel members trying to figure out what to do. We came up with something that I think you guys are gonna like. I think that we have no other option but to get this thing pulled out tonight, pay for an emergency build of this engine, and get it back in here with a whole lot of horsepower, just like this would have been. It's the only way that I can think of to make this situation right, even though it's technically not of any fault of ours. And I also want to clarify that I don't want you guys going and bashing any of the companies. I think that this was just a simple mistake. It wouldn't be that big of a deal had it not been a giveaway car, and it had to go home with somebody very soon, of course. So they were very open to making this right, but sadly with our timelines, this just won't work, so we have to figure out something else. The plan right now is to get this engine out, get it built, put it back in the car with the built trans that we have sitting over here from TIC Performance. And then after that, we're gonna have to call a winner, let them know the scenario, and let them pick what they want to do from here. We're gonna offer them to either take the car as it sits with the built LS3 that's in it and the built transmission, or if they really wanted to have this 416 stroker, we're gonna make that happen for them. We're gonna honor that. But we would probably have to delay it back a little bit further, of course. This is gonna have to go back to Texas Speed, have the revisions and changes that were needed, and then once we get it back, we then would be able to put it in, get it tuned, all of that good stuff. Or third option that at this point I'm pretty much forced to offer, you can take $30,000 in cash instead. A little bit of a sticky situation. We weren't really expecting it, but we have to make it right one way or another, and human error can always happen. So nobody's upset with any brands involved, but we definitely got to keep rolling from this point. So let's go ahead, get this car pulled apart, get this engine out, and get started with a rebuild. This is gonna be a long video, by the way, so grab some popcorn, sit back, and let's hop into it.
Wow.
Do you think we could lift it or no?
It's an aluminum block.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, dude.
Solid aluminum block, baby.
Well, there we go. We just deadlifted a whole engine. As you guys see on this pallet, this is the transmission that we got from TIC Performance. They're the same people that did the transmission in the GT350 recently. That thing is a rocket ship. The transmission has been holding up flawlessly despite all the horsepower we've been throwing at it. So I have no doubt in my mind that this transmission is gonna be perfect in this car for the power level that we want. Over here we got a bunch of new parts. Their new TIC shifter, we'll get into that once we get installing it. We've got a new power steering pump here and a new power steering line, because that is literally one of the only issues that we haven't addressed on the car left. So gotta get that right too. Oh yeah, this one's better than the engine. All right, now that the video intro and pictures and TikToks are all out of the way, set those two crates over there and we can get started removing the engine out of the car. step one, I know that we need to remove the hood off of the car. That way we've got access to everything in the engine bay. We've obviously got to remove all the fuel lines, coolant lines, engine mounts, exhaust, belt, and even the AC compressor, and then the wire harness. After that, then the engine should be able to slide out the front and come straight up at the top, especially being that we already have the torque tube out over there on the ground and the transmission out, of course. So this should be pretty easy for the most part. Shouldn't be too long. And, oh, as you guys can see, we've got the truck already hooked up to the trailer because the plan tonight is to get that engine strapped down in the back of the trailer. That way in the morning, we can take off and go bring it over to the engine builder to get started on the entire build of that thing. The giveaway with this thing ends in just a few days, so we are on the most massive timeline crunch I've ever seen. I don't know what we're gonna do with this engine, guys. We have a 416 stroker from Texas Speed. That is a wet sump, so what should we put this in? I mean, like, I don't know how this escalated so quickly.
No, there's just an extra.
An extra engine, yeah. But like I was saying, first step, we got to get this hood off of here. That looks like that's some 15s or something like that, dude. This is gonna be the first attempt at a really long video in a while, so you guys are gonna have to give me some feedback. I've been reading comments, of course, every video. This is the first video in a while that we've had a complete shop vlog with a ton of stuff to do in a video. So if it goes really well, and you guys like the length of this, we might just start doing this a lot more. Oh, you think your drift car is cool, bro? I got the drift cart! Drift cart, bro! Oh, hit the 360 with it. Oh! All right, let's get in here. I'm reckoning it's 15, but that's probably gonna be smaller. Must have been a 13. Yep. Step one, remove bolts. If you guys are wondering why there are vice grips holding up the hood strut for the hood, that's because the new hood struts that we have ordered haven't come in yet. Hood out of the way. Now we can get started removing the intake off of this car. So it looks like that just pops up. That just clamps over there. MAF sensor. All right, that can just pull up. There we go. Oh man, that throttle body looks really good there. Wow, there's a little bit of oil on there. So that gives me the reason to believe that that might be some rings. Yeah. The whole freaking throttle blade is like covered in oil. Brother, are you for real? The cap just fell off of the master cylinder. I just wasn't prepared for it to disappear into the abyss like that. All right, we got the covers out of the way. We can pull this little spring clip off of the fuel line. And now we're gonna grab a towel and try our best to keep this from going everywhere. But we got to disconnect this fuel line, and I'm pretty sure it's pressurized, so.
It might be, there could be a little drippage.
We've got this little plastic tool that slips in there and releases it, and it should back. Oh yeah, it's got a little bit of fuel in there. Got that off, and we can pull the plastic tool back. Fuel line disconnected.
Up and out of the way.
Let's empty it just to make sure. Yeah, up and out of the way, and there we go. We'll slip this back into place as well. That way we don't lose it. We'll put our plastic tool back with the rest. So next step, we'll go ahead and probably start loosening up the headers, which look to be a little bit of fun, but what are those, 13s? We can take off the coil plugs as well. Can you guess if it fell apart or not? I might get some of the ceramic ones like you got. Those were nice. If you guys see, this is like such a super common problem on LS engines. These just fall apart and just are so crappy. They're prone to heat issues being that close to the header too. I'm not gonna pull them off, but pose down here, as you can see, are literally made of porcelain, like a toilet. And so it like has heat shielding built into it, and they just snap on it. They're really nice. So we might do the same thing on this car. I might go ahead and get those ordered. All right, I know that one of the steps right now should be disconnecting the battery. Yeah. Before we start messing with the alternator, the Ultima Depator, Optimus Primator. There we go. Negative battery terminal disconnected. Header bolts are extremely accessible over here. That's crazy. All right, let's get in here and zap these out. And just like that, the passenger side header is loosened up, boy. Let's get to the driver's side now. Bang, bang. You've been doing a lot of LS work recently.
Yeah.
Poe just got done supercharging his car. If you guys haven't seen that, I think we're technically good now to lift the car up and drain all the fluids from underneath, huh? Go ahead and pop the cap off the coolant tank here so that way we get some aeration and it'll drain nice and easy. There's no way.
Is it not coming off?
Might just be a little dumb. All right, up we go with the Corvette. We're gonna get it off the ground. We're gonna do a little shake test with it just to make sure that this thing is not gonna fall. And there we go. Got this thing off the ground, and as you guys can see underneath it, we've already got the transmission, like I said, out of the car. So that makes the next steps pretty easy. We gotta drain the oil out of the multiple drain plugs here and also the sump tank. And then we've gotta drain the coolant out of the car as well. So I guess we would do that probably from the petcock right here. Pretty cool being under here too and seeing that the leaf springs were deleted and we went to the new coilover setup from Silvers. This thing has handled so much differently with this. And now you guys can see all this dirty, filthy stuff. That was from where the rack and the pinion was leaking really badly. And this power steering line up here leaking just crazy badly. This line though that's leaking is that new line that we showed you over there that we've got. So we'll be replacing that. We've also got a new power steering rack coming in that we're gonna be replacing. So no more leaking here. Should tighten up the steering as well. All brand new stuff, brand new power steering pump. So underneath the car, as far as, oh my Lord, steering goes, it's gonna be pretty perfect. Yeah, you can explain the science behind that. That's an interesting one.
The previous owner had a problem with this car. If you can see, I don't know if it's easy to see.
Look right here, you can see where there was JB Weld where it kept hitting right there up against that frame.
As well as on the fitting right here too. You can see the fitting they put JB Weld on top of.
Yup.
Because that was leaking at some point, and as you can see, it still is leaking and the car is losing power steering fluid. So they got a
Very
newer
quickly.
one. This line is for a 2013 Corvette instead of a 2010. But as you can see, there's not a mount here, whereas on this one, there's a mount.
And this actually has these supports now, so it's actually supported and kept off of there. So this new revised line is gonna keep this from happening again. It should be pretty sick, making Corvettes better.
Yeah, literally. It's time.
Okay, open.
I'll just
Hold the secondary funnel, and then let's do like one of these. Yeah, this oil seems like it's gonna be like kind of thick. You know what I'm saying?
we're gonna catch it properly.
Okay. Oh, where are we at? Where are we? Oh, okay. All right.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah, dude. You see the flow of the oil?
Dang, this is nice. If you guys can see, the angle of this drain plug is just directing it off of this freaking piece of frame. Killing the game, straight down. Hitting the backboard. If you had to guess, what do you guess that's wrong with this engine?
Rings.
Rings? Yeah, I would say rings too.
Smells a little like fuel too.
It does, yeah. So as you guys can see, what we were referring to earlier with this engine issue, you can see that this is a dry sump car, so there's not really like an oil pan down here. Typically you would have like a big oil pan that comes down and then off of the back is their drain plug, and that's where, but instead it's not really much oil kept in here. Most of the oil is actually kept up in the fender in a tank. Pretty wild. Drain plug back in, a little hand tight, a little hand tight. What is next, Dr. Poe? I know these lines got to get disconnected from the oil pan for sure. Since this is going to be coming out, these lines are going to stay. So let's go ahead and pull these out. They're probably going to have some residual oil in them if I had to guess. Oh yeah, there's some oil in there. Oh yeah. What the heck? Why is there so much? There we go. Both of the sump tank lines are disconnected. I'm gonna bag these lines up, that way they don't keep dripping. We'll zip tie them. And that should be enough, hopefully, to keep this thing from leaking everywhere.
Not a drop.
Not a drop, dude. All right, last thing that we gotta do is our coolant line here so we can pop the petcock open, throw this into the ocean later. Now the hope is that through taking this plug out, we get the coolant to start draining through this hole right into the funnel without any problem.
Oh yes.
Right there. All right, we got everything pretty much disconnected underneath the car. Next up, we gotta pull the car down. That way we can get started on the top side again. So let's get this thing dropped down. All right, let's get that belt out of the way. All right, lower radiator hose disconnected over here. Nice, getting the power steering reservoir out the way.
Yep.
This is definitely my first time ever going this in depth on an LS engine, so this is quite fun. Oh yeah,
Well,
by far. Like if you think about it, I've never
Yeah, that's
had a need to go this in depth on anything.
yeah, true.
Not pulling an LS engine.
Alright.
Yeah. Intake manifold off. Look at that, dude. This is starting to look like much more of a bare block now. Next thing, we gotta get this valley cover off so that way we can bolt on the plates, lift it. Wow. It's like it's sealed on there.
And there's gonna be O-rings there too. I don't know why they're there for.
Wow, this sounds so interesting. Let's go. So everything is still in place. Let's go ahead and take this carefully and set it over here. Now that we got the valley cover out of the way, we can grab this lift plate that Mr. Po-Boys was nice enough to let us borrow. Now we can take the same bolts that we just now took out and put them into here. And now you can see that not only does it double as a cover, it's where you don't spill anything in there if you're putting like a fresh engine in, but it also has a hook spot here so you can just lift it out real quick.
Multiple hook spots. So you
Yeah.
can lift it from an angle or not an angle or etc.
Which we might end up having to use. We're gonna go up one more time with the car, double check over everything underneath, make sure that we're good to start lifting the engine out, and then we've got the hoist over here ready to go. So we are just moments away from giving this thing an attempt. I mean, everything down here that I can see looks good. We've already got the slave disconnected. I pulled the mount for the slave off of the bell housing, so that's clear. Yeah, the AC compressor. We're gonna leave the AC compressor connected. That way we don't have to worry about spewing any AC refrigerant everywhere. All right, I think that this is ready to go up.
We can do the daggone thing.
All right, let's give it a go. Back down we go with the tennis ball vet. Let's go ahead and pull up the hoist. This is pretty wild, dude. This is definitely like the dream stuff. This is what I was wanting to do in this shop whenever we first moved in. This isn't exactly the way I was thinking that we were gonna be doing it, but hey, dang, brother.
There's fellers that pull the engine out via the side.
All right, dude. Let's go. Oh yeah, the side of the car looks great. That looks like the way. All right, I'm gonna start putting a little bit of tension on it. Oh my gosh, bro, I can see it actually coming out. This is, oh my gosh. We're gonna slowly go up, but as we go up, we're just gonna give her a wiggle and make sure that everything's not binding up on anything. So far, everything's looking good. Give her a shake, and it feels like it's loose. Doesn't feel too bound up. Now that we got the engine lifted up a few inches, we're getting these headers worked around and dropped down to the bottom. And now we're gonna keep going up with it and see where we're at.
Oh, there it goes.
Oh, frick.
Here's motor. All right, motor's free floating right now.
Yeah, it sure is,
Push
isn't
in your
it?
direction.
All right. Oh, look, there is a harness back here that's stuck. Oh, yeah.
Can you pull on the engine your direction?
I think that we are officially good to lift this thing actually out of the car. Slowly work it up. Let's go. Yep. Bro, let's go. Let's get that. We just pulled a Corvette engine. After midnight.
Yeah, we started at midnight.
Let's get it the rest of the way up and out of here. Bro. No way. Slow it down a little bit so it's just a little safer. And just like that, there, bro, there's just a dry sump LS3. So at this point, engine is just about ready to bring it over to the machine shop, but we got to get all these accessories removed, pulleys removed, this water pump up here taken off, valve covers, starter, bell housing, stuff like that, and just get it ready to be dropped off. So, all right, alternator bracket. There it goes. Water pump popped out of the way. There we go, dude. Bell housing out of the way. This clutch that was in here wasn't really having too much problems except for the throttle bearing making a ton of noise. Probably do need to go ahead and pull the clutch off now that I think about it too. Flywheel and everything. Yeah. Let me go ahead and crank this up a little higher. Now that the bell housing's out the way, pop this clutch, flywheel, pressure plate, and all that loose. Yeah. There we go. Stuck on that little bell. There it goes. There it goes. There it is. Nice. Hey, clutch doesn't look terrible. Oh. Never mind. That pressure plate has been heated.
You reckon this?
Wow, look at the hot spots, dude.
Dude, check that.
Oh, man.
Oh. There's your problem. That's a bearing.
It is supposed to be a bearing that turns, and that is, oh yeah, that is locked up. Definitely part of the problem. Break loose anything. All right. There it is. Yep.
That's a stripped engine right there.
That really is. I mean, that wasn't bad. Engine stripped, ready to be put on a trailer. That's pretty sick. We're gonna take this thing over to the engine shop tomorrow morning, which is in just a few hours now. We're gonna tow it there with the SRT truck on a trailer, get it unloaded, and in just 1 day turnaround time, the builder that you guys are about to meet is gonna be rebuilding this engine. I honestly don't even believe it. That's just, yeah, for real. I'll set that on the trailer, and then I'll bring the engine over there. This trailer is so handy, dude. No way. Oh. All right. Technically. Oh my Lord. Well, I guess we can go ahead and start strapping this thing. Okay, that definitely feels a lot better. Yeah, dude, that thing's solid.
They work on Corvette stuff?
I do think they work on Corvette stuff. Dang, we got a few LS vehicles over here. Oh, that Corvette looks familiar, actually. I need to go look at that one. What's up, man? How are you? I'm Gavin. Nice to meet you, man. Thank you so much for being Superman in this situation, dude. This is...
No, I don't mind at all.
unreal. We got this thing pulled out last night at like 4 a.m. and on the trailer, so ready to go. I did see that you had a familiar Corvette over there.
Yeah.
Can I take a peek at it?
Yeah.
As you guys remember, very recently we had a video go up and this car we thought caught fire from the exhaust. It's on fire! But it looked like it had some kind of a block and engine failure. So now the entire drive line is dropped out of this car. That is wild, dude. Jeez. Oh, you got the engine there. Okay. I didn't get to see exactly what happened to it. You can see it real good right there. There's just a giant crack going all the way down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that was a wild night.
Yeah, it was.
Its replacement.
Oh yeah, the Dart.
Yep.
Nice. That is really cool, man. That's what's going back into ZR1, so hopefully it'll be back up soon. That's exciting.
But yeah, that's it. That's the one.
That's really cool, man.
So you said that it was smoking
Yep.
or something.
Smoking underwater. Oh, that's sick. I didn't even see this, dude. In-ground dyno. Are you serious? That's crazy. What? How much you charge for dyno tuning? Or not tuning, I guess, but just dyno run.
If you ever want to use a dyno, just call me.
Really?
I don't-
Okay.
Just
Don't say that. Hey, don't. You better
No,
not
you're
say
good.
that. You better not say that. And realistically, the smoke, we're not even sure if it 100% was rings. It could be something head related. It could be, I mean,
it's probably going to be head related.
Yeah.
You probably don't even have any major issues, really.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, we need to get it apart.
if we could just go through it and do, like we were talking about, do a cam kit and just make sure that everything's all resealed and great. I think that that's perfect, really.
So cam kit, valve seals,
Yeah.
springs, oil pan gasket, and stuff like that.
Yeah, and anything else you see in there that you think needs to be done or upgraded, I'm here for it.
Yeah.
It's going to obviously a giveaway car, so it's going to be somebody else's here in about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Just something reliable and really good setup is all that we're looking for with it.
I mean, that motor alone's a reliable, really good setup.
Yeah.
One of my favorite motors.
Yeah, I agree, man.
Simple upgrades, cam and stuff, make 500 horsepower. I mean,
Right, yeah,
that's
really,
great
really, yeah.
street horsepower.
Oh yeah, dude, especially in a car that light. Just let me know whatever you find, and I'm excited to one way or another get this thing back going. I appreciate you for the help a
Yeah,
ton, man.
no problem at
Seriously,
all.
it means a lot. All right, guys, that is cool. Good people over here at Moonlight Performance. You got to come check them out if you're in the Georgia, especially Atlanta area. And there goes the engine. They are wheeling that thing back right now. So they're taking it into the shop. They're going to grab parts. They are going through it to see what's all going down with it. And in the meantime, we're gonna go get the roller prepped. So that way, whenever we get the engine back, we'll just throw it all together and be good to go. Which means that next video, you guys are gonna see us reinstalling this LS3 that we just had built. And don't forget, guys, there are only 24 hours at this point remaining in the Corvette giveaway, which means you can get entries in to win either our Corvette or the SRT10 Ram at itsjustasix.com. Grab anything like this t-shirt, a hat, a hoodie, cup, a shirt, I mean, literally anything. And you could be taking home the title keys and cash to this car, the Ram truck, or hell, even $30,000 in cash. So with that being said, guys, stay tuned for next upload. We got to get to work, so I will see you guys then.